You know, when we think of orchids, we usually just picture these gorgeous, exotic flowers, right? But what if I told you some of them have this incredible secret? A secret that smells like chocolate, or coconut, or even, get this, Fruit Loop cereal. Yeah, you heard me right. So let's dive into this amazing world of living perfume.
I know, it sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? An orchid that actually smells like chocolate? Like really truly smells like rich, decadent chocolate? Well, believe it or not, the answer is a huge yes. And the story behind it, well, it all kicked off with one very special orchid that absolutely took the world by storm.
Okay, so we're going to start with the superstar, the one that really started this whole craze. This isn't just another fragrant orchid. Nope. This is the plant that created a worldwide sensation and basically put scented orchids on the map for regular people like you and me.
And what's really wild is just how fast this all went down. So back in the late 80s, this one specific clone, a version called Sweet Fragrance, hits the scene. And its scent, this vanilla chocolate mix, it was so incredible that demand just went through the roof. I mean, we're talking about orders jumping from 10,000 plants to 50,000 in just a matter of months. People absolutely lost their minds over it. Now, it's important to know that Sharry Baby isn't just one single plant. It's a hybrid, so there are different versions out there. Sweet Fragrance is the one everyone knows for that powerful smell, but then you've got Ruby Doll, which has this gorgeous, deep red color. But there's a catch. They all kind of have this one annoying flaw. They tend to get these ugly black spots on their leaves. It's this little quirk that has breeders constantly on the hunt for the next, even better chocolate orchid.
So yeah, the chocolate orchid is amazing, but trust me, it's just the tip of the iceberg. The orchid world is like a massive library of living perfume, and we're about to check out a few of the most incredible books on the shelf.
All right, first up, let's take a trip to the tropics with the coconut orchid, Maxillaria tenuifolia. Seriously, this thing smells exactly like toasted coconut, maybe even a piña colada. It's wild. And it's a great example of just how weird and wonderful orchids can get. It doesn't grow up like you'd expect, it actually climbs sideways, and its leaves look more like a clump of grass. Oh, and if you want the full scent experience, you gotta sniff it during the warmest part of the day.
Okay, next up, if you're a fan of sweet, fruity smells, you're gonna love this one, Phalaenopsis bellina. People who grow it swear it smells just like Fruit Loop cereal. But listen up, because here is the most important thing you need to know, especially if you're used to those grocery store falls. Whatever you do not cut the flower spike. As long as that spike is green, it can keep making new flowers for years. Seriously, put the scissors down.
And now for something completely different, a little bit of nighttime magic. Meet Brassavola nodosa, also known as the Lady of the Night. During the day, nothing. You could stick your nose right in it and smell pretty much zero. But as soon as the sun sets, bam! It unleashes this incredible perfume. Why? It's all a clever strategy to attract its pollinators, moths, which are, out at night. It's just brilliant evolution. Why waste all that energy making a scent when your target audience is asleep?
Okay, so let's say you get one of these awesome plants. You're super excited. You bring it home and nothing. No smell. What gives, right? Well, here's the thing. Fragrance isn't just a given. It's actually a really complex process, and you kind of have to give the plant the right cues to get it to perform. So let's get into the science of how to unlock that amazing scent.
This quote right here, it really nails it. Making all those fragrant oils is, for the plant, metabolically expensive. It takes a ton of energy. Think of it like a luxury item. The orchid is only going to buy that luxury, producing a scent, if all its basic needs are met. If it's struggling just to survive, there's no way it's going to waste precious energy on making perfume.
So how do we give it everything it needs? Well, it really boils down to three key things. First, and this is the big one, it needs plenty of light to create energy through photosynthesis. That's its fuel. Second, it needs the right temperature cues, often a drop in temperature at night, which is what tells it, hey, it's time to make flowers. And finally, you need some warmth in the air to help those fragrant oils evaporate so you can actually, smell them.
And here is an awesome pro tip for you. How can you tell if your orchid is getting enough light without any fancy equipment? It's simple. Look at its leaves. You might think you want a deep, lush, forest green, but you actually don't. You're aiming for a lighter, brighter, kind of yellow-green color, the color chartreuse. That color is the visual sweet spot. It's your orchid telling you, I've got plenty of energy in the bank, I'm ready to make some perfume.
And just take a look at how specific these needs can get. Our chocolate orchid, the Oncidium, it really needs that
big temperature drop at night. We're talking down to around 10 or 12 degrees Celsius. But the Fruit Loops orchid, Phalaenopsis bellina, it wants to stay nice and cozy warm all the time. It just goes to show you really have to try and mimic the orchid's natural home to get the best results, especially when it comes to fragrance.
All right, so we've talked about what these orchids are and why they smell. Now let's get to the really good stuff, the how. This is your practical, hands-on guide to getting that amazing fragrance in your own home.
Okay, first things first, you've got to understand orchid roots. They are nothing like the roots of your other houseplants. They're covered in this incredible spongy coating called velamen. And this stuff is literally like a sponge. It's designed to grab moisture and nutrients right out of the humid air. That's exactly why keeping the roots airy and not packed in soggy soil is so important.
I'm telling you, the #1 way people kill their orchids is by overwatering them. So I'm going to give you a foolproof trick to avoid that. It's called the pencil test. All you need is a plain wooden pencil or even a wooden skewer. Gently stick it down into the pot, leave it for a minute, and pull it out. If the wood is dark or feels even slightly damp, step away from the watering can. It's that easy, seriously.
When it comes to feeding, there's a simple mantra to remember. Weekly, weekly. That's it. Orchids don't want one giant meal once a month. They'd much rather have a little snack, a very diluted fertilizer almost every time you water. When it's growing new leaves and bulbs, give it something high in nitrogen. Then, when you want it to bloom, switch to a high phosphorus bloom booster. Oh, and one last thing. Once a month, just flush the pot with plain water to wash out any built-up salts. Easy.
Okay, this brings us to one last idea, and it's a really cool one. So far, we've been talking about how we can enjoy the orchid's fragrance. But what if we flip that around? What if the orchid is using its scent, or its lack of scent, to actually talk to us? Think about it. That incredible perfume isn't just there for our enjoyment. From the plant's perspective, it's a biological signal. So let's ask a new question. What is your orchid trying to tell you with its smell? And really, there are two sides to this coin. A gorgeous floral fragrance, that's your reward. That's the plant sending you a clear signal, hey, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I've got everything I need. But on the flip side, a foul odor, especially a kind of dead fish smell, that's a red alert, a 5-alarm fire. That is the unmistakable smell of bacterial rot, usually from overwatering, and you need to act fast. Of course, it's worth remembering that you're not the only one who loves a sweet-smelling flower. That fragrance is basically a dinner bell for all sorts of pests, so you've got to be vigilant. Keep a close eye out for little critters like aphids on the flower buds or mealybugs hiding where the leaves meet the stem. A healthy, fragrant plant is just as tasty to them as it is fragrant to you.
So there you have it. We've gone from the chocolate orchid craze of the 1980s all the way to the science of what makes them smell and even how to listen to what those smells are telling you. The big takeaway is that fragrance is more than just a treat. It's a sign of a happy, healthy, well-cared-for plant. So after all that, the only real question left is, which one of these amazing living perfumes are you going to grow first?